Hello, I'm Balaji Raghothaman from CommScope, here to present an overview of the Small Cell Forum's new white paper on SON and orchestration for 5G. From the vantage point of more than a decade of experience in the small cell arena, this paper looks back at the experiences and challenges of SON and provides a roadmap for the emerging new generation of SON for 5G. I would like to recognize the key contributions from member companies including NodeEdge, Nokia, Jio, AirHop Communications, Parallel Wireless, Samsung, and others. It has been amply evident that with increasing complexity, cost, as well as dimensionality of the networks, self-organization and automation are some key must-haves for wireless network operators. The forecasts have shown that increased automation can in fact lead to a significant increase in small cell penetration. Small cells have already built up a substantial and successful track record in plug-and-play automation as well as SON. There are more than 18 million small cells deployed in the last decade in a range of deployment types, all the way from a consumer home device to large enterprises to venues. And each model has its own needs in terms of plug and play and SON capabilities. But there are some baseline capabilities that cut across all of them, such as configuration management, software management, neighbor management, and RAN parameter optimization. This white paper looks at some of the valuable lessons that have been learned during the 3G and 4G SON journey. One of the major learnings for the Small Cell Forum from the combined experience of the member companies has been the need for openness and interoperability. And this has also been reflected and confirmed by our survey of the MNOs with regard to their 5G SON needs. The need for multi-vendor interoperability and the corresponding need to provide SON as a service facilitated by open APIs stand out as the top three needs as voiced by the operator community, and this was in line with our analysis as well. The SCF has already been at the forefront of encouraging interoperability and openness. The SON function can generally be broken into a distributed component that resides along with the eNode B, as well as a centralized component which could reside in the core. The Small Cell Forum recognized the need to provide an interface and stepped in to provide a SON API. The forum has also hosted elaborate plug fests where multi-vendor interoperability can be tested across multiple companies through a large set of operator-defined tests and benchmarks. Some of the key findings of our SON testing has been that standards do not necessarily guarantee tight interoperability, and these are due to varying interpretations of texts. And so careful consideration needs to be taken in designing the test cases accordingly in order to tease out these differences. This problem is going to be exacerbated in 5G as we move to more openness in the architecture and hence more interfaces where interoperability needs to be tested. And also we recognize the need for a harmonization in terms of management and provisioning because of the plethora of deployment types as well as deployments across multiple generations as well. So the paper provides some important recommendations for SON and orchestration in the 5G era. You can read all of these in much more detail in the report. Just to touch on one aspect as an example, one of the important trends has been the expansion of the scope of SON into a richer set of applications, and also the promise of using cutting-edge machine learning techniques to enhance the outcomes. And in order to enable this, there is a movement towards disaggregating the SON itself along with some parts of the RRM into functions known as a near real-time and non-real-time RICs, or RAN intelligence controllers. This development, is a huge opportunity, but at the same time provides challenges in terms of the need for enormous amounts of interoperability testing and also coexistence of the RIC functions in the medium term with the native SON functions that already exist. And along with these developments also come the possibility of policy conflicts that have to be managed across these various entities. And all of these will provide some challenges that need to be carefully considered and overcome. One of the key outcomes that comes out of this white paper is the need for open management and orchestration. As the industry moves towards a virtualized environment with off-the-shelf hardware, the small cells also are moving in that direction. This brings its own sets of opportunities as well as challenges. One of the challenges being the need for leaner and more scalable management models that can be deployed for small cells as opposed to a more feature-rich and information-heavy macro cell model. And we believe that the small cell forum can have an important role to play in facilitating this. You can read more about this and all other aspects that we discussed in the white paper. You can download it at the link provided on the slide, and at this point you could pause to read the contents as well. Based on the outcomes and the recommendations of the paper, there are already a few work items that are ongoing. One of them is an overarching view of small cell management in the 5G era, looking at various management interfaces, particularly focusing on private networks and neutral hosting scenarios. And another more focused effort is to create netconf and yang models for option 6 split small cells that can be complements to the corresponding work in ORAN that has been happening for option 7.2x. A third work item is on artificial intelligence and machine learning applications for 5G small cells that is already kicked off. And if you are excited by any or all of these work items, please do contact the Small Cell Forum at info@smallcellforum.org and get involved. For further reading, you can download these papers both on SON and orchestration as well as precision planning for 5G small cells. Thank you very much and have fun reading.